Hey guys, welcome back to my Cisco Kinetic IoT training. So today we are going to discuss about DSLink, how to instantiate them, how to troubleshoot, and how to use the link. So my name is Johan Ahrens. I'm a network designer at Cisco Systems in Montreal, Canada. So to get started, the DSLink is a very important component in EFM, and actually this is the way we have to talk to external systems. So it could be a Modbus system, it could be BACnet or any other protocols. So this is the way we can actually talk to external systems. See this as a driver. To get started with the DSLink, you need to log in EFM admin or in the data flow editor. So we have actually two ways to do this. So the first way I'm going to show you is through the EFM admin page, and I think, in my opinion, this is the easiest way to manage the link. So when you're logged in the system, so this is the page you're gonna see. So this is a freshly installed system on Ubuntu. This is Ubuntu 16.04. This is vanilla. There was nothing fancy about it. So EFM has been installed. It is currently running. So by default, our EFM is going to instantiate all those links. And actually this is you can have an idea what has been instantiated on your system. But if you want to manage them, you have to go under management. Then this is the red menu over here. So when I click on it, you're going to see the various things we can do over the system. So today we are interested to explore what is under links. So if I'm opening the links over here, so this is all the links that were installed in the system. So if I want to add some links in my system, actually I have three ways to do it. So if you want to install a link that was shipped with the system, you can go under install link, and here in the drop down list you have a bunch of things that were shipped with the systems. This is not everything that is installed or instantiate, and you can pick and choose whatever you want in that list and then install the link here of your choice. If you want to install some more recent versions of those links over here, or a link that was provided by a developer, you can either use a zip file, then you can download and putting available in your system, or you can use a Git. If you have the URL in Git, you just have to provide the URL, a name of course, invoke, and that's it. It's going to be installed. But to do this, your EFM server needs to be able to talk to the intranet, which is not always the case in data centers. So for this demo, I'm going to instantiate MQTT. So I'm going to scroll down, and MQTT is over here. So I can give it a name, and I'm going to invoke. So while it's actually invoking the system, I'm going to show you where this is installed. So if you're navigating local file system, so I'm going to go under computer. So EFM is installed under OPT, Cisco Kinetic, EFM server, and you have a folder called DSLink. So all your links are installed over there. So if I'm opening simulation link as an example, the important files I want to drag your attention to is DSLink.json and node.json. So the first one is actually the link config itself. So how to instantiate the link, what parameters that link needs to get in order to get started. Is it Java, is it binary files, that kind of stuff. So this is the only information that is inside that file. And node.json is actually the DSLink config. So this is the parameters we are going to give to the link in order to get interaction with another system. In the case of MQTT, I'm going to provide the IP address or the name of my broker, and that information is going to be stored in that file. But keep in mind, you don't have to edit those files. I just want to show you where the files are going to be located. So if you need to have troubleshoot the system, you're going to see where the files are actually stored in the system. So that being said, MQTT, the installation is has succeeded. You're gonna see here success. You have to know that when you install a link, it's not started by default. You have to do it manually. So as long as the system, as the link is flag enabled as true, it's going to be started the next time the broker is going to be to get restarted. Or if the server is rebooted, it's going to be started automatically. If you don't want that, you just have to select here. You can always set it to false, and it's going to be actually it's not going to be started at boot of the server. So now we just want to start the server. So I'm going to go back over here, and I can click on invoke, and the link is going to be started. So I can reopen this, and then you can see it started by the state, and it's showing me state connected. So this is how I know that my link has been properly is running and it's actually started. If you need to troubleshoot something, you can actually go under get logs, and then you can actually get information in order to have an idea of what's going on if something goes wrong with a link. The only information you need to provide is the number of lines. So this is the last 1000 lines of the file, and this is actually similar to the command tail dash 1000 in Linux. If you are familiar with Linux, this is exactly what that command is doing. So here I can open this and I can see what's going on with my link. So there was nothing wrong over here. So the second way to work with the links is to go to the data flow editor. So you can go under sys, under links, and then you're gonna see pretty much the same information as we have shown over here and under management. So this is could be convenient if for some reason your link crashed and you need to get the logs, or maybe you want to restart it. So and you are currently programming, you don't have to go back to another page and to log into another page to fix the situation. You have access to this. So here I have my MQTT link. If I want to, I can right click, and there was a bunch of action I can do. This is self-explanatory, so I can actually get the same logs, and you're gonna see pretty much the same information. So now I want to connect to an MQTT broker, and this is not under the link, under this place. I will be able to do this. This is only to manage the link itself, the code itself. Is it running, and or do I need the logs and that kind of stuff? You won't configure any MQTT broker over here. So to do so, you have to go under downstream, and then you can search for your link. Actually, and in our case this is MQTT. So I can right click on this, I can add a server. I need to give it a name. I'm going to call it my broker, and here in the URL you can see here in gray you have to provide the protocol. It's going to be TCP as opposed to SSL, because actually MQTT can work either in clear text or in encrypted, so with SSL. So we have to provide which protocol to use with MQTT, and this is specific to MQTT. If you want to instantiate BACnet or Modbus, the information you're going to need to provide are going to be different, because this is specific to that protocol. But I'm going to show you something. But when this is done, actually you won't care about the protocols and all the specific details about those protocols, because once it's done, you're going to see the data you can access to. You can extract and put it in your data flows. It's going to be simple. I'm going to demonstrate this with MQTT. So why MQTT, by the way, is just because I have a broker over here and I have a bunch of sensors publishing some data over MQTT. Is going to be easier for me for this demo. So I've provided a protocol, the IP address, could be a name if you have DNS, and of course I need to provide the port, which is 1883. This is default port for clear text in MQTT. The last information I need to provide is client ID, and I'm going to call it demo EFM DSLink. And actually this is pretty much pretty good. The rest is default. If you want to understand the other parameters like the QoS and what it's used for, I've recorded another video specifically around MQTT. So go ahead and watch that video. It's going to cover all the details about this. So I have all the information I need. I can actually invoke, and if I'm getting back over MQTT, I can open MQTT now. I have my broker, and you're gonna see it disconnected. And why is that? It's just because we haven't subscribed to anything. So MQTT is expecting a topic to connect to a broker, so we need to subscribe to something. So I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to something, and I'm going to call it sensors, and it's going to be sensors reader 01, and I'm going to have a wildcard, which is the £. So actually I have a broker and in my home, and I have a bunch of sensors publishing data over MQTT, and this link is actually one of the sensors. So this is done. So you're gonna see here a status connected. So that means the subscription has been succeeded, and we can talk to the broker. So I can open data over here. I can open this sensor. Here, this is just a tree, and the last piece of the tree, we have the data. So I can go ahead and go under data flow. I can go under test, and it's just the name of a folder. If you want to have another folder, you can actually create another one in this way. So I'm going to go under test, and I'm going to create a new data flow. I'm going to call it labo2 invoke, and actually I can open the flow. By the way, there was another video on specifically data flows where I'm covering a lot of details about this, so I'm going to be straightforward in this. But here under carrier, this is my heating system. I can let's say I want to use those two variables. I'm going to drag and drop those two in my systems. So as an example, here I have no timestamp, and this could be a problem because I don't know where that data has been read. So I can actually create this very quickly just to show you this. I can use a real-time recorder, and I'm going to record those information. So I'm going to create two variables. The first one is going to be bedroom, and the second one is going to be kitchen. All right, so we have the names, and then we have to provide the data. And here I can provide this, and the output of this table is going to be the values of each room with the timestamp. So we have done this. So now we have seen how to instantiate a link, how to configure the link to talk to some of the systems, how to extract data for those links, and you have seen here once all the specific details about our one protocol or the other is done, we can actually consume the data very easily. So now the last piece to cover is to get rid of some links you don't want to use. So as an example, I have no idea what the H2DB is, and actually if I want to get rid of this one, I just have to select the one I don't want, uninstall link, invoke, and this one is going to disappear. And same from simulation link, I can get rid of this one as well. So and this is done. So this is very easy. So we have seen how to instantiate a link, how to configure the link, how to configure the link to talk to some of the systems. This is quite easy, and we have seen as well how to troubleshoot a link, how to get information, and where to find the important files of a link, and how to extract the logs for the troubleshooting. So hope you have found that video interesting. If you did, please go ahead and like the video. If you have any comments, don't hesitate to use the comment section. This is always appreciated, and this is always reviewed, and this is very useful for me to improve the videos. All right, thank you and have a good day.